Hey guys, welcome to the Life on Purpose podcast. It's Ella and Ella from Grow with the Flow. Here we explore all things personal growth and self-discovery.
We hope to inspire you, empower you to explore your growth, and to remind you that you're never alone. So let's get right into it. Let's grow. Hi, everyone.
Welcome back. We're happy that you're here. And if you are new to this podcast, welcome. We're glad that you found us and that you chose to listen to us today. If you have been an avid listener this far, welcome back.
Yeah, we wanted to continue the tradition of pulling a card for each episode for you guys so that if there's anything you need to hear today, this message is for you. So we shuffled the deck before we started recording, and I haven't looked at the card yet, but it's animals. So cute. The energy of animals reflect our instinctual nature, allowing us to draw on their skills and abilities. Our instincts are what we generally describe as a gut feeling, intuition, or psychic ability. Playing or working with or just observing animals, either directly or symbolically, brings us in touch with our own animal nature, an aspect of ourselves often repressed. We are all one. Life is life, flowing from the same source, manifesting as different species. We are all streams of uniqueness, ever-expanding love and light, traveling our own path to experience life in new and varied forms. Once you feel your own uniqueness and love, it becomes easy to communicate with all life forms, feeling their originality instead of trying to communicate through your opinions, values, and conclusions. Animals are fully present in the now, a gentle reminder to adapt and adjust in every situation. Here you will be in the flow, and the path of least resistance will present itself.
I feel like this is so fitting. So I don't know what's been going on with you guys, but this energetic new year has been like full on for us, both in Grow with the Flow and just in our personal lives. So we hope that card gave you a little bit of either peace or reminded you of something or was just the message that you needed to hear today.
Yeah. And I love that because I love animals, like that whole thing. Like I love just observing what they're doing, and like they always show up at times when I need a message. So
that's so true. They're your signs, your little signs from the universe.
Yeah. So like reading that, it's so true. They all like show you something different, the way that they live like habitually. They
just do.
Yeah.
They're not thinking, they just do.
Yeah. I love that. Anyways, we're so excited because next week we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary at Grow with the Flow. I know, it's so exciting. Well, since we launched Grow with the Flow. So we've been working on Grow with the Flow longer.
April 4th.
Yeah, we launched Grow with the Flow April 4th, 2022.
It's crazy because when I think back over the year, first of all, it doesn't feel like a year. And then I'm like, what? Who were we? It's kind of ironic, and obviously the point is that this whole journey for us, creating Grow with the Flow, has been such a self-discovery journey.
So true.
So trust us when we say we're on this journey with you, because honestly, 2022, Ella and Ella, Grow with the Flow, you can't even compare. It's crazy the journey that we've been on and what we've been through since and the things we've learned. So we just have that much more to share with you guys.
Yeah, that's so true. And it's weird. Like it feels like 5 years, but it feels like no time at all at the same time. Yeah. And it's like we've learned so much and changed so much, but at the same time, it's always come back to that first conversation we had, which is like so funny. Like every time we write down like, okay, we got to get back to our foundation. Like what is Grow with the Flow? The list is always the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
It's just different words or we put it in a different notebook. Yeah. It's like the foundation of who we are has never changed, but it goes hand in hand with what we constantly teach about self-discovery and personal growth, is that the journey is never going to be linear. Mm-hmm. There's times where you're just on this high at the top of a mountain, and then there's days where you're just like, what am I doing? What is happening right now? So it's been such a humbling and exciting experience at the same time. And there's a lot that we got to learn about ourselves and things that we got to learn about you guys and how we could best serve you. And obviously we're going to continue to grow and continue to evolve as we all do. But to think back that it's been a year.
I know.
It's
It's
wild.
so exciting. It's so exciting. So thank you for following along if you've been around for a long time.
Yeah. A year.
A year. So that brings us to our topic today, which is 3 important things to remember in the early stages of your journey. We thought this was such an important topic to cover because, first of all, we're hoping we're speaking to those people that are starting their journey out. And I know it can be, like we've been there before, it can be so overwhelming. You don't know where to start, what's happening, what are all these changes, what are all these feelings. So we thought it was such an important episode to record, to be like, these are the 3 things to keep in your back pocket and just remember. So yeah, it takes us to our first point.
Yeah. So obviously the list could have been like 100 things to remember at the beginning of your self-discovery journey, but these are the 3 that we felt were great places to start. And obviously there's a bunch of things that can fall underneath this. Our first point that you're probably thinking, yeah, that sounds about right, is you're going to be working at this every single day. It comes out in the decisions that you make, the way that your mindset frames a situation, right down to the habits and the routines that you have. So we want to remind you once again, and I have to remind myself this every day, it's not always going to be linear. It's going to go through so many iterations, so many different emotions, so many different peaks and valleys and highs and lows. And that's okay. It's going to look different for everyone. Your journey is your journey. We are here and we act as a guide for you. And we try to create a safe space and provide you with the tools and resources to make this journey a little less scary. But we can't promise that there won't be moments that are like, what is going on? That's just the nature of personal growth. You can't look at it as a quick fix. So we've talked about this in previous episodes. If you're hoping for like, I'm going to do this in 3 months and then I'll be done, you're in the wrong journey. And I think that's, again, why we use the word journey, because it's more than just a program or a workout schedule that you're going to get to accomplish in 5 weeks. This is something you're committing to long term.
Yeah. And it's not like, what does it even mean? Like, what even is the destination? Like, every day we have different experiences that bring out different parts of us, right? It's always like working towards that and like always reminding yourself why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm here. Because even if I skip 1 day or 2 days, I'm like, what am I even doing again? Like, I get so, maybe that's just me, like my type of human, but like, I find that if I skip a couple days, my whole life goes and like, turns chaotic. I'm like, what was I doing again? What are my values? What am I working towards? Like, who do I want to be again? Like, you know?
And we talk about that often, like Ella and I, how important our routines are to us, because it's natural to fall off track in anything you do in life. You're never going to have, it's not going to be perfect all the time. And you have to just kind of come to terms with that early on. It's the consistency, it's the discipline, it's the bigger picture. It's, why do I want this? What am I working towards? That's the vision that's going to carry you through. Because there's going to be days where you're just defeated or you just can't. And that's okay. Take that day, take those 2 days, take that week. But the growth is you having the clear vision is what's going to help you prevail.
Yeah. And I also find that having that love and respect for myself, like before I would just wake up and be like, just wild west, like what's today gonna bring? But now giving myself that time and that space just is always showing myself I love myself and I respect myself and I'm taking this time for myself. And making decisions for myself that will are good for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
that's perfect, because that segues right into our second point, which is self-discovery. And we use the word growth and change quite a bit, right? So it's easy to believe, or it's easy to think that this journey is about changing ourselves and changing into a different person, when in reality, you have almost everything you need within you already. It's a huge part of self-discovery, and something we want you to learn early on is that it's about peeling back the layers. It's so easy when we get started. I did this, 1,000,000% I did this. You are looking for the books, the people, all these external factors, somebody to tell you this, someone to tell you that, what's better, this or that. When, I want to say more than 75% of personal growth and self-discovery, that's just a number I've created. It's definitely over 50, is coming back to yourself. So it's things that are already within you. Yes, there's going to be resources and tools that help you peel back those layers, but those layers are already you. Mm-hmm. So if there's one thing we want you to remember at the beginning of this journey, is you don't need all of these external things. They're beautiful, and there's so many things out there that are going to help you flourish and elevate your life, and it's incredible how they all come together. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that you need is you.
Mm-hmm.
And
I feel so passionate about the line. We have it written here in front of us. That's why I'm saying that. But you are already perfect as you are. Like, I just want to go to everyone and shake them and be like, you are literally perfect as you are. Like, I couldn't believe that more. And that was something that I wish somebody had told me, or that I would have believed at the beginning of my journey, because it was always like, okay, like I need to wake up at 4 and have this like 17-step morning routine to be successful and like the perfect person. And like everything that it felt like somebody successful was doing, I wasn't any of those things. And it was like, I wish that I knew that I would have I have my own way. Mm-hmm. I have my own beliefs and my own way of living that works for me. And I'm like a good, nice person that can be like, that is kind and generous. Like I have those good values, and I don't need to do what other people are doing, change myself completely to be quote unquote better. Yeah. If I had just peeled back the layers, as Ella said, and just seen myself for who I was and worked with how my energy works and stuff, it just would have made my journey so much easier.
For sure. And I think obviously the word flow is very important to us. Flow and ease, I think, are huge goals for both Ella and I, and huge goals that we have for you guys in our community to find in your lives. Like Ella said, we get this idea that there's only one right way to do it. And that's just not true when it comes down to it. That's why a big part of our method and a big part of what we preach at Grow with the Flow is, yes, self-awareness, yes, clarity, yes, understanding your vision, your goals. But the key word here is yours. If it doesn't line up with your vision, your ultimate goals, what makes you feel good, then you're not doing this journey for yourself. This isn't going to help you elevate your life. You're doing it externally. We want you to come back to yourself and ultimately create something that flows and works for you. What works for me might not work for Ella. Like if I have friends that, like Ella was saying, 4 a.m., 5-hour routine, then I've got friends that have 3 kids, and that's just not possible. And they get so discouraged because they think if they can't do that, they can't reach that level of fulfillment or success or happiness in their lives. And we want to be the voice that tells you that it doesn't have to be that way. Mm-hmm. We want you to find something that suits you. And I think that's another reason why we're so drawn to human design, is because yes, you uncover your design type and certain parts of yourself. And it has a lot to do with honoring unique things about your specific chart instead of trying to force it. Yeah. So instead of doing things because somebody else told you and hitting so much resistance, trying and learning how to create routines and habits and relationships and environments and all these things that factor into what our days look like with the least resistance and the most flow, so that it just feels good. Like that's what we want for you guys. That's what we all want in life, is to feel good. Yeah. So if we can help ourselves create more flow in our lives, that's the goal. Like,
Yeah.
that's the dream.
And asking yourself what you really want. Like, is that even what I want? I had a moment earlier this morning when I was driving. I was listening to the morning show here in Cayman, and there was a master chess player, and he was talking about how he it's like the Super Bowl of chess, where when you're like the best chess player ever. I don't really understand it. And I had a moment where like the old Ella like belief system was like, why aren't you a chess champion or something like that? Or like, why haven't you accomplished anything like that? You know, like that monkey mind that's like going on and on. And then I had to stop, and like the new normal Ella voice was like, I don't even care about chess. Like, you know, so you have to ask yourself. That's just an example that came to my mind because it happened today. But I'm sure there's a lot of moments in your life where you're like, why am I not doing that? Why am I not like this? And you just have to just stop and be like, is that what I even want?
Mm-hmm.
And that takes us to our third point, which is it's okay to feel lonely at this stage of your journey. When you start the self-discovery journey and become a little bit more self-aware, do those things like the audits and looking at the different ways you spend your time, you start to evolve, you start to shift and change, and it can feel really lonely because you're not resonating with the same things that you used to resonate with. You're not resonating with the same people that you used to resonate with. And it's almost like you're in this limbo stage where you're like, maybe you haven't figured out yet what those things are or who those people are. So you're kind of in this limbo phase where that doesn't work for me, but I'm not sure. I'm not completely there yet with this new thing that does work for me. And it can feel really lonely. And like our first point about it not being linear, sometimes you can fall back into old habits and then be a little hard on yourself or judgmental. And that's okay. It's just showing you that, okay, wait, no, I don't want this.
Yeah, you've outgrown
it. And there's a grieving process. I know you've probably heard like new mothers say that, like they're grieving the old version of themselves, but that can be for anybody at any stage in their life. Like my time used to be taken up by doing like a 2-hour boot camp and doing happy hour with friends every night of the week and this career that I was in. And once I stopped doing that, you have all this time. You're like, what am I even doing? And it's lonely because you're alone, literally alone. But we just want to let you know that it's okay and there's nothing wrong with you and it's completely normal. And it's just you evolving and finding those things that are going to work for you and are more aligned with you.
Yeah, it just truly is part of the process. And I know for certain every single person has experienced this, whether they were aware that that's how they were feeling at the time or they're coming to this realization as we have this conversation. I love that you can feel like this all throughout your journey. You might experience this every time you feel a shift coming. I know I still do. And I know grieving is definitely something I've had to give myself time to do because you outgrow things that maybe your current self isn't ready to outgrow. Your subconscious mind is still attached to it, but you're like, I need to leave this behind. And sometimes I think we attach grieving with like something that left because it ended. It's a clear end, right? Like when you quit a job, you're done at that job. But relationships or environments, it's not such a clear cut. So you're still, like Ella said, in that limbo and that in between of, does this serve me? Sometimes it might, and sometimes it doesn't. And just honoring whatever emotions come up, I think is so important at this stage in your journey and all throughout your journey, but more so in the beginning stages, and just recognizing that if you're feeling this, it's not wrong. It doesn't mean that your personal growth is at a halt or it's stopped or you have to start over again. This is a part of the journey and it's going to get uncomfortable, and that's okay. And I think, again, we really, for Ella and I in our own unique journeys, a big pivotal, is that the word? Pivotal moment for us was when we came together and started talking about these things openly with each other. And we found a sense of community between the two of us. And we both have these beautiful relationships in our lives. But when we started to talk about these things with each other, we realized, oh my gosh, like, yes, I felt that way. You felt this way. Dad, there's so much overlap here. And we know that you're listening on the other side of this, nodding along.
Mm-hmm.
And we want you to remember that we're here with you. There's a lot of people going through this, and that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever comes up.
And also, just a last note on that, if you are feeling there can be times when you're going through a shift and the people that you were friends with feel uncomfortable. Maybe you are feeling comfortable, but they're making you feel uncomfortable. I think that's a really important thing to bring up as well, because when you start having boundaries or just starting to say no, it can be triggering to other people in your life, because maybe it's reflecting what they're not doing or making them feel bad, because if you're not doing this thing anymore, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
But so just remember that if there's somebody in your life that's making you feel bad, that it's not you, that it's their journey that they're on. And
the hard, that's it too, right? Another thing that I really had to learn over this past year more than ever before in my life is, because I love to share things to people that I love. It's natural. You want to be like, this is amazing, you should all do it. Newsflash, you can't. You can't assume that everyone in your life is going to be on the exact same path as you at the exact same time. So it just ties into Ella's point. This is your journey. And that's a big part of what could be making things uncomfortable, is you just assume that everyone's along or they're at the same part of the journey as you, but chances are they probably aren't. And maybe the thing that brought me the most peace was just recognizing that it's not personal, that I'm at the stage of my journey that I need to be, and they're at the stage in their journey where they need to be. And that's just how it is. And when you constantly come back to your values and your foundation and what's best for you, it makes those sort of interactions easier. And there's more understanding, it's not coming from a place of judgment anymore, or a place of, well, why don't they see it like this? It's just the way that it's meant to be.
And I've been that person.
Oh my gosh, we all have.
When I was younger, I would just be like, oh, this is so cringe. Like, why are they doing that? Like, because I was probably feeling hurt that maybe I was being left behind, or I wanted to do that, but I wasn't strong enough, or I didn't know.
You just read a different part.
Way. Yeah. So it's like, and so, yeah, you get the point. Just to leave everybody be, to do their own thing.
Yeah, live and let live, man. Like, do what's best for you. Don't hurt other people, but also honoring your emotions. Like Ella said, don't, if something is making you feel bad or throwing you off your path, honoring the fact that your journey is your journey. And your job is not, you're not here to influence or, hold somebody accountable to making the same changes you are. That's not your job. You're here to focus on your journey and the way you feel. And yeah, I love that line. Live and let live is like my life motto. I just want people to be happy and do their own thing and do what makes them happy. If you want to dye your hair blue and have a pet elephant, like, go do it, man. That's exciting.
I love that.
Yeah. We got really off topic there with the blue elephant. Anyways, it's like I always come back to blue hair. Anyways, guys, we just wanted to have this episode because it can be such a hectic time at the beginning of your journey where you're hearing this and this, and then this person recommends this, and it's overwhelming. We just want you to know that these things that we brought up in this episode are so completely normal and so common that we felt the need to create this episode. Every person we've talked to has experienced this in one way, shape, or form. And I think creating conversations around this makes it just that much easier to digest and to live and to,
Yeah, I totally agree. And that brings us to some really exciting news that we wanted to share with you guys. We have a program launching in May.
Woo! So exciting.
Yes, we are very excited. And we just wanted to invite anybody who felt like they were nodding along in this episode and they felt like it really resonated and you wanted to work with us more closely, to DM us. Come over to Instagram at gwtf.club and DM us the word expand so that we can put you on the list for when we launch it. You'll be the first person to find out, or obviously people. And yeah, we just can't wait to get it out to you guys.
Yeah, that's as much as we can share at this point. But as you can probably tell by our tones, we're very, very, very excited about this.
Yeah. So we'll leave our email and our Instagram and all the information that you need to know down in the show notes. And
we'll see you over there.
Yeah, we're so excited. We hope you have an awesome day, and we'll see you next Wednesday. We have episodes every Wednesday.
Yep.
So share with a friend, come back, listen, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.